Hello everyone, welcome to Cassandra's Chinese Food Kitchen. Today we are going to make pan-grilled king oyster mushrooms. This is a really delicious vegan dish. We only need king oyster mushrooms, scallions, ginger, garlic, a little light soy sauce, and Chinese barbecue seasoning. This barbecue seasoning commonly used in China is cumin-based spice powder. It usually contains sesame seeds, other spices, and salt. If you can't find this kind of seasoning, cumin and salt will work just fine. Or you can use the barbecue seasonings that are popular where you live. If you like spicy food, you can also add some dried chili peppers. First, cut off the rounded tops. Tear the king oyster mushrooms in half by hand, then pull them apart along the fibers. This takes a long while, but it's actually very relaxing. It feels like squeezing and tearing some interesting toy. And I promise, king oyster mushrooms taste better in this way, because the fibers run vertically. If you cut them into round slices, you cut the fibers become short. Usually rectangle slices are better, but for this dish, I prefer tearing them with hand. That gives them the best chewy texture, which like shredded squid or meat. Okay, now that's finished. Cut the round tops into thin strips, trying to match the thickness of the hand-torn pieces. Put the mushroom strips in a pan, then cook them over the lowest heat. I recommend using a non-stick pan. You'll hear this sound, and the mushrooms will start releasing water. Give them a gentle stir so that even after they shrink, they are still spread out evenly in the pan. Once the mushrooms stop releasing water and the sound dies down, transfer them to a plate and set them aside. Now we prepare some scallions, ginger, and garlic. Cut the scallions and ginger into small pieces like before. For the garlic, it's best to crush it with the knife, so it's easier to peel and break into smaller pieces. I have to say, Chinese food can be pretty tedious when you prepare ingredients. But when everything is properly prepared, the flavor becomes more richer, so it's deserved. Pour some oil into the wok. Add the scallions, ginger, and garlic. Then heat them over low heat until they start to bubble. Last time the chilies I used were not very spicy, so this time I tried another one, my own stash of chopped dried chilies. Once the scallions, ginger, and garlic start bubbling, add the chopped chilies and stir fry. This batch should be spicy enough, my nose has already noticed. Add about 1 or 2 spoons of light soy sauce. Stir fry them for about 5 seconds and pour all of the mushroom in the wok. Give everything a quick stir fry. The oil has already absorbed all those flavors from the aromatics and chilies, so the mushrooms will get coated with it. Add the barbecue seasoning, and then keep stir-fry it. Now it is served. Remember how the raw king oyster mushrooms filled up a whole plate? Now they've shrunk to about 3/4 or maybe 2/3. Well, I'm bad at math, but that's okay. What's left is the concentrate essence. My version is totally salty and spicy, which goes really well with rice. It has that satisfying feeling of barbecue, and the hand-torn king oyster mushrooms are very chewy. When you bite into them, they even taste a little bit like meat. This recipe is inspired by two things: Chinese barbecue and dry frying. More specifically, it has the flavor of barbecue, but the cooking method is inspired by dry frying. The traditional dry frying method usually involves deep frying the vegetables first. Deep frying removes moisture more effectively and makes the vegetables crispier, but it also wastes a lot of oil. The moisture from the vegetables can also make the oil go bad more quickly. Restaurants can use deep frying, and honestly, I've always thought the deep fried version has a better texture. But this version is healthier, and it's still very satisfying. Tonight, I'm going to reheat this dish for my parents. They just come back from a trip, and they both really like this dish too.